In my hand, I am holding a hard drive which is 1 TB in size and mostly empty. So at my home, it is just idle, giving me no benefit at all. Now what if I can rent this hard drive and use its space as a medium for storing data for the users? And in return, I can earn cryptos. Well, this is what the project is about. Welcome to Katoch Tubes. I'm your host Paras, and in today's video, I will talk about Filecoin. Filecoin calls itself a decentralized network that stores the humankind most important information. But according to me, I call it as an AirBnB of the cloud storage space. I will talk in length about this project, so do watch the complete video till the end. And before I start the video, as a ritual, I welcome you on board. If you are new to the channel, click the subscribe button and press the bell icon to receive weekly crypto notification. And if you are a reader who wish to read about this project or any other project of your choice, just click on the description box and visit my website, which is katochtubes.com. Having said that, let's jump right in and explore the Filecoin crypto. Before I take you through the details of the video, let me take a moment and introduce you to the other platform in which we are active. We are active on Twitter as well as on Meta. You can reach out to us and spark a conversation by visiting our Twitter and Katoch Tubes handles. Now let's get started with today's list of topics. I will start with what is Filecoin. Next I will talk about what is IPFS protocol. Then I will cover how does Filecoin work. Filecoin Mining, followed by Filecoin ICO, then Benefits and Drawbacks, and finally I will cover Filecoin price prediction. So I will start with what is Filecoin. Filecoin is an open source decentralized peer-to-peer network that allows users to store files in a decentralized manner using IPFS. IPFS stands for Interplanetary File System, which I will discuss later in the video. Filecoin is developed by Protocol Labs, which was founded by Joan Bennett, the guy right over here, in the year 2014. Joan is a computer scientist and a degree holder from Stanford University. The team has an aim to replace the current centralized cloud storage system and replace it with a decentralized system, which is IPFS, and to become the core storage application for the Web3 applications. Now Filecoin is actually an incentive layer of IPFS. That's why in order to understand Filecoin, we need to understand what is IPFS. As I said earlier, IPFS stands for Interplanetary File System, which is actually a protocol which allows users to store their data on a decentralized network using this protocol. Now how this works is the point of question, and how the Filecoin integrates with IPFS is the point of discussion next in this video. As can be seen from the diagram in front of you, this is how Filecoin works using IPFS protocol. Here we have three stakeholders within the system. One is user, one is storage miner, and one is retrieval miner. In order to store the file, a user has to make a contact with the storage miner, and they both have to agree upon an agreement, and based upon that, the storage is decided and the data is stored on the system. Now when the data is stored within the network, it's the duty of the Filecoin to cross-check whether or not the storage miner is performing the set of operation and keeping the data encoded and securely. That's why it has two sets of protocols which do the work for Filecoin. I will talk about it next in the video. Now after the storage, suppose if a user wants to retrieve his data back to his device, all he needs to do is raise a request, and according to the agreement signed, he will call upon a retrieval miner, and the retrieval miner will provide the data back to the users. Now here you should understand the fact that a retrieval miner may or may not be a storage miner. So remember three players in the system, which is the key to the system, and that is user, storage miner which store the data, and retrieval miner which retrieves the data. Now between all the functions, we have two important protocols that take parts within the network. One is proof of replicate and one is proof of space-time. Proof of replicate helps the network understand whether or not the miner is performing the set of operation which is assigned to him, which means miner has to store the data and has to store it in an encrypted and coded format so that it cannot be copied or replicated by any other miner. So that is proof of replication. Next is proof of space-time. Now every time a data is stored within the decentralized network, the user must be ensured that data is secured within the network, and that's why it has proof of space-time, where the protocol will help the system identify that the data is secure and the storage miner is following the set of operations. It will keep on checking the data at a random intervals and keep track of the data storage on the network. That's how a data is securely maintained within the Filecoin network. This is somewhat how the Filecoin system works. Now to know in depth about the complete system, which includes proposal deals like storage deals and you have retrieval deals, you can click on the link in the description box and read about a complete workflow of Filecoin. Next I will talk about Filecoin mining. So here is one important part. You can become a miner in a Filecoin. You can be a storage miner, you can be a retrieval miner, or you can provide the storage power to the complete system. Now the question is how the mining is done. Just like Bitcoin uses a proof of work consensus mechanism that utilizes a high GPU power of a system, Filecoin does the reverse. It uses a storage power and values storage power of a miner over a GPU power. That means if you have a more storage power, you have a higher chance to earn more rewards in terms of fill tokens than compared to a GPU power. So keep in mind, if you want to be successful mining Filecoins by taking part in the network as a storage miner or a retrieval miner, you should have or you must have a better storage power than a GPU power. Also, the minimum period in which a user can store a data on the network is 180 days and the maximum time is 540 days. So that covers the mining part, and now I will talk about a little bit into the ICO of Filecoin. So ICO of Filecoin is one of the most successful ICO at the time when it was launched in the year 2017, raising a total of approximately $257 million in a very short span of time. There is one drawback or a big criticism about the ICO, and that is it was reserved for high net worth individuals, which means the individuals whose net worth ran in millions of dollars are only allowed to take part in the ICO process. The whole community not allowed to take part in the ICO. That's the worst part. Next I will talk about the benefits of Filecoin. So benefits are pretty much clear by now, and the top benefit includes that it's a decentralized network that stores users' data. Your data is safe and your data is secure. Now Filecoin uses an encoded algorithm and keeps track of a data. So if you think that your data is stored in only one kind of device, you may not be correct. Your data is further divided and encoded into many encryption and stored into the multiple storage devices which are there in the Filecoin network. That's why your data is secure and safe, better than a centralized system. Apart from these benefits, it also a kind of environment friendly, which I think so. The devices which you are not using at your home, or maybe you have storage devices lying around which are outdated, can be used to earn real cryptos by adding them to the Filecoin network. That's why it may help reduce the e-wastage in the long run. So these are some of the benefits, and when I talk about the drawbacks are the competition itself. Filecoin has entered a very dominant space which are ruled by the likes of Google, Microsoft and Amazon. It may not be easy to disrupt these companies and become a market leader. Of course, it has a long way to go, but it will face a tough competition. Apart from this drawback, the major drawback which pull down the price value of Filecoin is that it has a bottleneck of storage miners, which means what if storage miners went on a strike, which was a rumor before when Filecoin was launched. Now if the storage miners went on a strike, the whole network will come to a standstill position. That may not be good for the functioning of the complete network, and users may not be able to retrieve the data. So these are some of the drawbacks that the company has to work towards. Now to get a complete list of benefits and drawbacks, you can click on the link in the description box and read about Filecoin File Token. And finally, I will talk about your main part, and that is the price prediction of Filecoin. Filecoin clearly is a revolutionary project and it has a clear message, that is, it wants to become the top storage application for Web 3.0. And according to me, it has no such competition, at least for the given moment. Every application, if you ask me, like especially the play to earn gaming models like you have Axie Infinity, Star Atlas, and you have many more like GALA games, will utilize Web 3.0 application, and mostly they want to store their data, which should be completely decentralized. And the safest place where they can store their data is none other than Filecoin. So clearly Filecoin has a long way to go, but it has a potential to become a mainstream adoption for Web3 applications. Apart from it, it has to work on the storage part, which means it has to entice the storage miners and the retrieval miners for them to keep on working and keep giving power to the network. It has to come up with a better and stronger rewarding system which can entice more and more users to join the network as miners. Now when I talk about the price prediction, Filecoin has a good run when it comes to the bull run of 2021. It attained a price above $100 per token in the bull run and then crashed down to a level below $60 in the market crash. Currently it is available at the lowest, that is $19 per token at the time of shooting the video. I think the coin has potential, and this value of Filecoin, which is below $20, is very much undervalued. It has the potential to go back again to $100 mark given the fact it fixes its rewarding system and also onboard more users on the platform. There are applications, which means there are Web3 applications which are waiting to use Filecoin on its network. And of course, in the long run, Filecoin sounds pretty positive to me. So if you ask me where the price will head, I will definitely say it is bullish to me, and that means it may cross a level above $200 anytime soon in the next bull run. But again, that's my prediction. You have to do your due diligence and come up with your own research. So that completes my review of Filecoin. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. Do watch the videos shared on the screen. I'll see you next week with a new video and the new content and the new coin. Till then, take care and have a good day.